Ethereum appears to be recovering after a few days of crashing it down to $2,000, but can it mount a recovery and push back towards all-time highs? In today's episode, we're going to look at the latest Ethereum news as well as Ethereum technical analysis to see exactly where Ethereum is headed in the next hours and days. Hey guys, and welcome to the House of Crypto. I make videos on Ethereum as well as Cardano and other altcoins. If you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button to be kept up to date with all of the latest happening in the cryptocurrency markets. If you entered last week's competition to win some Cardano, then make sure you stick around till the end of this episode where I'll be announcing the winner of that. Without further ado then, let's jump into our first piece of Ethereum news for today. So recently we've seen a number of ETFs in Bitcoin, and today the world's first Ethereum ETF goes live in Canada. Okay, so one thing I want to draw your attention to is this is a great day for investors as we're democratizing access to Ether, making the process of owning Ether easier than ever. We believe Ether, a leading digital asset with perhaps the most potential among all the blockchain technologies, is poised to continue its growth trajectory and as both an important utility technology and broader adaptation as an investment asset. You know, proof in the pudding, more and more people are getting involved. As we've talked about before, the more channels that are available for people to invest, the more institutional buying happens, the better for the whole of the Ethereum ecosystem. And, people have obviously been a bit upset in the last few days. And if you bought at 2,500 and it's dropped a bit, you're probably feeling a bit sorry for yourself. However, this is a long-term game. Many people are getting very upset in the short term when we don't see big pumps day in, day out. But actually, this is the time when, if you're a longer term holder, this is actually the most exciting time in my opinion. When the markets are down, it's actually a very exciting opportunity, because in terms of where Ethereum and Bitcoin and the rest of the cryptocurrency market is going in the next 2, 5, 10 years, which actually isn't that long in the grand scheme of things, is actually a really exciting possibility. And if we can kind of look, if we can ignore a little bit about, the here and now of what exactly is happening on a day-to-day basis, then it kind of makes us a lot happier about, the short dips and the opportunities to buy more and the longer term potentials. Okay, so before I jump over to the Ethereum chart, then I just want to take a quick look at the Bitcoin chart, because as you know, both Bitcoin and Ethereum are very heavily linked. And we'll jump over to the Ethereum chart in a minute and you'll see exactly the same thing has happened. So on the 1 hour we had this big ascending triangle pattern which took a while to break out and eventually did break out about last week now. Played out on the upside a bit before actually surprising us all a bit and coming back down. What caused a big drop like this? Well, when many people are buying an asset or betting on an asset going long and something like happens in the news, for example, the thing about Turkey banning Bitcoin, it does obviously have a bit of an impact, and what it does is it drops the price. So everyone is believing that it's going to go up, and then something happens that drops the price a bit, and then what we get is this big snowball effect as all of these accounts start getting liquidated, and lots of Bitcoin is then returned into the marketplace, flooding the amount of supply until it is eventually bought up at a level that people are happy to be buying in at again. Obviously the same has happened with Ethereum. This happened earlier this year, and everyone was super excited about Ethereum pumping and Bitcoin pumping, and Elon Musk said something, and then it dropped, and then it snowballed down, and then we had this huge correction. But actually, in terms of the big, grand scheme of things, this is going to continue to happen. So this is why we don't over-leverage ourselves. This is why we don't put in any more money than we can afford to lose. This is a way that in longer terms we're going to be able to make more money, but in the shorter term, if we over-leverage ourselves, then we get blown out and we get liquidated and we lose money. So always be safe, always take care of your trading. Jumping across to the Ethereum chart, then we can see something very similar to what we've just looked at in Bitcoin, where we've got this falling fan pattern. And what I want to draw your attention to is what is happening right now over here, because as you can see, we've had a breakout, which is obviously very exciting news from a bullish perspective. And what we can see is we've actually broken out and we've come back and retested, and we've pushed up in a really strong push here. So this is the one on the 1 hour chart. If this candle can close way above here, then we've got a bullish engulfing candle, we've got a breakout, we've got a reconfirmation, which is very, very strong in my opinion. In terms of other things we can look at on this chart, okay, we can also see sort of a bit of a W pattern here forming, which is going to have a similar breakout. And as you can see, it's pretty much at the top of that at the moment. If we can break beyond that, then that's going to probably push us from this top of this point here, and then we take it down the way here, and that will take us back up towards the $2,400 level. Bearing in mind though that this level here at around the $2,300, we came up, we found significant resistance here, we turned it into support, found support again, before eventually turning this into resistance once more. So although the target of this breakout is way back up here, actually we're likely to see some significant resistance again at the sort of $2,200 level, which we've been trying to crack through today and eventually have done recently. But the $2,300 level, as we talked about before, the $100 increments as you go up provide sort of psychological barriers. That's because people are targeting those prices to sell at and also targeting those prices to buy at, which is why you get like significant lines of which is why we're getting significant lines of resistance as well as support once they kind of flipped over. Okay, but in terms of the shorter term, this is where I see us going in the next, potentially few hours, as long as we can break beyond this high here. If we don't break beyond that here, then perhaps we will come back and retest this again before pushing back to the upside. However, it's looking very strong as I speak. Always go away and do your own research. This is not financial advice. This is just the way that I see things. Never risk more money than you can afford to lose. Okay. Yeah, so what I'll see is, potentially we'll come up to here. We'll probably play along sideways here for a bit, before hopefully coming up, flipping this into support, and then we'll be pushing back to the upside. In terms of the target for this pattern, it brings us pretty much back up to where it all started, which is around all-time highs at $2,500. And just lastly, I want to bring you over to the Ethereum Bitcoin chart, which is looking extremely bullish from an Ethereum standpoint. Now, obviously on this channel, we've talked about these patterns quite regularly, and in fact, you can see them as we've gone up on the Ethereum Bitcoin. This is on the 4-hour, and you get various sort of types of consolidation triangle patterns. But as you can see, this is an ascending triangle. And actually what we're doing at the moment, Ethereum has been performing very strongly against Bitcoin, currently doing 2.23% today. Obviously, Bitcoin has taken a bit of a dip recently, and we've seen that knock on in the rest of the crypto market. However, if we can see Bitcoin recovering and Ethereum recovering, but Ethereum recovering quicker, then that's very bullish for Ethereum. And as you can see, we've consolidated into this pattern. We've hit a few times on this top level, and as we've seen in the past, the more times we tend to hit this, the more likely we are to break through. We've had a big dip down, although this was just a wick, kind of came down and touched this level here before coming it down again, touching it around the 3.8% level before moving up to where we are at the moment, which is towards 4%. In terms of where this would break, if it did come, it would break out, and as per in the perfect scenario, it would come back and retest before going up. Doesn't always need to retest. Obviously, in the ideal trading scenario, it shows us what is going to happen. In terms of a target price for this, in terms of percentage, Ethereum versus Bitcoin would take the height, and we move it to the point of breakout, and that would take us to around 4.3%. Okay, so bearing in mind that Bitcoin is making a recovery today and looking like it's going to be doing a very similar thing, moving back towards all-time highs like Ethereum, I'm very bullish as we look at this chart on how Ethereum is going to perform against Bitcoin, and it's looking extremely promising in my opinion. So jumping over to this video here on the 16th of April on Cardano, where I was offering $50 Cardano giveaway, and if you want to be in with a chance of winning future competitions, then make sure you hit that subscribe button, as I'll be doing a competition pretty much once every week for a cash giveaway in Ethereum, Cardano, or maybe another cryptocurrency. But just jumping through here, who can we get to? And today, okay, cool. Christopher Kattengal, cool, well done, congratulations. I'll leave a link for the House of Crypto Twitter in the description. Make sure you go over there and send me a DM, and I will get that payment across to you as soon as possible. Thank you very much for watching, guys. If you enjoyed today's content, then please hit that like button. It really, really helps me to get this content out to as many people as possible, and makes making all this content really worthwhile. Thanks very much for watching, and I will see you again tomorrow with another video. Thank you, bye-bye.